everyone, Matthew Dale here, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at Jimi Hendrix solo in the Wind Cries Mary. Now, before we jump in and start learning all of his licks, it's really important to have a good understanding of what's happening in the background of the solo. What are the chords that he's soloing over? The song itself is in the key of F major, but there's a lot of chords that are borrowed from other keys that we need to address. Now, when we talk about the chords within F major, what we mean is this. F major has F major, the 1 chord, G minor, 2, A minor, 3, B flat major, 4, C major, 5, D minor, 6, E diminished, 7, and then F major. So here's the chord progression of the solo. We start with F, go to E flat, B flat, A flat. We do that same progression 2 more times. F, E flat, B flat, A flat, F, E flat, B flat, A flat. And then we go down to G, go up to B flat, and then we go up to D flat before finally returning to F. Alright, so let's break this up into a couple of sections. Let's start with the F, E flat, B flat, and A flat section to start with. A lot of what he's playing here can be thought of as F major pentatonic. But in particular, he's hovering around F major triads. The first of which being this first inversion triad at fret 13, so 13 on the high E, 13 on the B, and then 14 on the G. Except he doesn't play the G, he just plays the B and E strings. And then he goes down here to frets 8 on E, 10 on B, and then 10 on G as well. That's a first inversion triad, so it's spelled F, A, and then C. So those are his 2 main areas of focus. The first stab up here is just that chord hit on 13, and then he plays around. This is sort of a piano-influenced sound, or of course his Curtis Mayfield influence. And how I'm doing that is I'm barring the E and B strings on the 8th fret, and I'm strumming both of those strings, but then I'm hammering on with my 3rd finger only on the B string on the 10th fret. And the twiddle, I'm doing a hammer-on pull-off on that B string. Again, 8, 10, 8. And then I'm playing 10 on the G. Then he goes up into what we would think of as F major pentatonic proper. And he finishes his phrase. But over our chord progression, you really have to be careful over the A flat. So the note that he ends on is actually a really interesting tone on A flat. It's the major 7th. So he's sort of implying an A flat major 7 chord. So A flat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then he uses this basic idea as the framework for the next 2 phrases. But he changes his ending note to a D, which would be the sharp 11 on A flat. Creates a really interesting chord color. The D itself is in the key of F, but the A flat is not. In fact, all of the notes in this A flat major 7 sharp 11 are in the key of F, except for the bass note A flat. Then he does the same basic idea again on the third time through. Again, ending on that sharp 11 on the A flat major chord. And then we move on to a new chord, the chord we haven't seen before in the solo section yet, a G. Now, it's a G major, which in the key of F doesn't happen. So F major pentatonic, although kind of works, what Jimi Hendrix does instead is he brings his idea of, he brings that basic idea up a whole step into the key of G. So he's almost like momentarily playing in the key of G. Again, focusing around those G triads. It's almost like if he were a rhythm guitar player, the chart says G and he's going to play a G chord. He's just doing that as a soloist. A lot of times we'll also call that playing the changes. So you could say that he's playing the changes here. He's really playing the changes all over the place, but in this example, it works out pretty good. So, same basic idea in G, where he's up this time over a G first inversion triad and then going down to a G root position triad. These are spelled 15, 15, 16, and then 10, 12, 12. So that's what he plays over the G chord. And then our chord moves up a minor third to B flat. And then I love what he does here because he just plays a B flat chord. No one said you can't play chords and solos, right? So he's adding to this chord a little bit as well. So it's kind of coming out of your basic B flat bar chord shape. But he's sort of splitting it up. I call this the Jimi Hendrix way of playing bar chords. So rather than playing this as a bar, I'm wrapping the thumb around, which is what he did all the time. And I'm playing the rest of the bar chord. I'm leaving the A string out of it. I'm not using that in the chord at all. And then I'm playing the E and B strings with my first finger, and then second finger on G, and then my third finger on the D string. And this leaves some room to use our pinky for some other colorful notes in there, which Jimi Hendrix did a lot of as well. In particular, these notes would be the sixth, which is putting the pinky on the 8th fret of the B string. So here I am. I've got 8, 7, 6, and 6 for B flat. And that pinky is going on the B string on the 8th fret to get a B flat 6 sound. And then he makes it a sus4 chord by putting the pinky on the 8th fret of the G string. This little chord trick works great in a lot of different scenarios, and Jimi Hendrix would do this all the time. So here's what the measures of G and B flat sound like together. Now, one of my favorite licks in this solo is what comes up on the D flat chord, because I never really understood it when I was growing up and I learned this solo off of tabs. It appeared to me that he just moved everything from the key of F just down a half step for no other particular reason other than he was Jimi Hendrix and that's what he wanted to do. That's what I thought anyway. But when we take a closer look, the chord is a B flat chord. We move from G to B flat to D flat. And then he plays this. Now it looks like C sharp minor or E major pentatonic. And it also is a half step down from our key of F that we know the song is in. But more importantly, he's addressing the odd chord that's in this song, the D flat, which would be flat 6 in the key of F, and he's playing blues over it. The thing that I love too is that he's not playing anything terribly complex when he's playing the changes. Usually when we hear that term as guitar players, we think that it means that we have to play something, inhuman over top of the changes. He's just playing simple blues over a very interesting chord in the key for a really interesting sound. So he takes a blues stock phrase and just sort of moves it around to his liking. He first starts with 12 on the B string, bend it a whole step, and then pull off B string 12 to 9, our blues stock phrase, G string, 11th fret, bend up a whole step, and then 9 and 9 on the B and E. And then he finishes up with 11 and then 9 on the G string, with a lot of vibrato on that last note. Again, all out of C sharp, D flat minor pentatonic. And over a very strange chord in the key of F. But it sounds great and it's really effective in this solo. So here's all three of those chords played back to back. G, B flat, D flat, and then after the D flat chord, we go back to F. And then he goes back to a variation on his original idea. Again, Jimi Hendrix double stops. That's around that first inversion triad, down to the root position triad. And then he plays a great lick in what I might call F major pentatonic plus. He's adding the 4th degree from the major scale to this pentatonic run, which gives us a great resolution on the way out of this solo. So, and then back in major pentatonic, on the D string 10, 12, and then 10 on the G, back to 12 on the D, 10 on the D, and then the 4th degree of the major scale is on 13 on the A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that resolves down to 12 on the A, the 3rd of the F major chord, an A note. If you feel like you're stuck soloing in the same scales and the same boxes, try focusing more on chords and more on chord shapes like we saw Jimi Hendrix do in today's example. If you like content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you have a solo that you just can't simply wrap your head around, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Thanks, I'll see you on the next one.